tell you politician, I dey vote, but I no dey faith.
We go vote, we no go faith. Hope for you to pass in this information. Yeah. Hey, Waterloo chapter. Listen. Me I go vote and no go faith, yeah. Because me voting and me right, yeah. Me I go vote and no go faith, yeah. Because me voting and me right, yeah. The youth them let stay away from violence. Get the vibes, get the feeling, yeah. The youth them let stay away from violence, yeah. You vote now you right. You vote now you right, Hope for you say you vote now you right. You vote now you right, Go vote support sit down now you host. We no want no ding 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 ding. We no want no bling 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 bling. Conscious time when we on the search, yeah. Hope for you, million Christian. Me I go vote and not go faith, yeah. Because me voting and me right, yeah. Me I go vote and not go faith, yeah. Because me voting and me right, yeah. Now one's alone, now one's alone, now one's alone we get. Make we no allow them no use we oh. Cushion to my thought, yeah. Blip 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 blip. They put the blame on we. Blame Papa.
Famble them. Una good evening. I hope say any house una fen una safe na the world. I hope so una they do well. I hope say life has been treating you well. I hope say the weather has been treating you well. Well, today again we don't come na so we don't can sit down inside Salone issues. When I know for say the issues they're not they done. But today na a very special time, na a very special show, because as we dey draw closer and closer to the election, that D-Day, June 24, 2023, we get 55 days, 23 hours, and 43 minutes. Right now, we count down at 55 days, 23 hours, 43 minutes. In 55 days, 23 hours, 43 minutes, there is a lot that needs to be said. There is a lot that needs to be discussed. There is a lot of fact-checking that we need for do. There is a lot of back and forth. There is a lot of reflection that where we need for do. Today, na the 28th, but guess what? Yesterday, na been the 27, and wetin the 27 mean? The 27 means say, na that day, some of we granny and grandpa them, and for some of we them papa and mama them, been say, finally, we go always safe with we own hand, we go fend we own road, and we go do we own thing them for we safe, for we better one. 62 years later, what can we say? The dreams, the aspirations, the goals, are we there? Are we there? Did we get there and made a U-turn? Or are we trying to get there? Which path have we chosen? Whose road we don't take? And the road where we don't take now, is it the road less traveled? Or which one? Now all the question here so we get for the ask we safe. I see some people then wear the green, white, and blue and then display them so lustfully, so brilliantly, so elegantly. But then I ask myself, beyond the display of the green, white, and blue, what else can we see? We see a picture of a lady where go viral, where the pot where he all na in hand, he empty, he dey yawn because still no dey for it. I don't need to describe what that picture is saying. It was one of the most, I think, brilliant artistry where I don't see in recent times. You no need for talk, you no need for explain. Just watch the picture. The picture go tell you. And you can interpret it in any way you so choose to. About a year or so ago, I would say about a year and a half, if anything or so ago, I sat here and had a very, very interesting conversation with one of our political leaders in Sierra Leone, and that's the one of the leader of the NGC, Dr. Kande Kole-Yonkela. In that discussion, I asked him a series of questions. We are here now. Everything he said then, all thing way he say that time day, not so him we they see right now. Or if na him we they see him, they display in a different way. We go get for review some of the thing them. We go get for look at the history. But above all, today this evening time, I sit down I also with two former executive members of the NGC. Because you see, when thing happen, it always good for where the person where it happen to, make it talk am like how it happen to them. And not give voice for other person for talk am for them. Una remember na me self been sit down I so the first time I had Oluwole Zubairo alleging some incidences, I'm like, no, the person that I know, no way. The person that I have observed, no way something like this go happen to. I said him what go Bodia left me full. I said it here. But then when I took my time after and I did my own investigation, you saw me come back here and said, based on what I said then, I rendered my sincere apology and acknowledgement because that's what I do. Where I go wrong, I say it. Where I have failed, I acknowledge. And I always seek to do better. And it is that better that I'm sitting here again to do today. I know say Boko of I don't say, you Matilda, you've given KKY too many passes. Matilda, it's like you are KKY is like your darling. You see no fault in him. You always excuse him. No. To you, I say equity is something. To you, I say fairness is something. If I see no reason to criticize someone, I will not criticize the person unjustly. But where I see reason to call the person into question, I will do so. And today, una go decide who's I ulting for them and who's I ulting lie. Because remember, I can always say, you where you sus. Now you know how we they born. Me, I know how me on sus they born. I don't know how you on sus they born you. Madam Nemako, tell Fambul them adu.
Fambul them adu.
Okay, so today we get Madam Nima Kolowen, the former Deputy Secretary General of the NGC political party, is sitting at the host with today. Arthur Pierce, tell Fambul de Adu.
Fambul dem adu.
Arthur Pierce, self they tell una Adu. Arthur Pierce when I've been the former regional western area chairman in Sidona Yaso na the host with we this evening term. So basically, these two people we know them play then are the NGC members, and not only members, they were very active members because for making them hold an executive role, it means that there was something that the idea was an ideal or sets of ideal that they hold dear to them, that the party represented, and that make them choose for associating themselves with that name day. But then I believe it was January 28th on a Sunday morning, there was something happened. That led also to a committee investigation. I read the report. For you, Arthur, I believe it was stated according to the committee report that you had grievances with the way you were being treated and also what happened on the 28th of January. For you, Madam Silla, the report stated that you were not happy with the committee, the NAC and its procedure and so on. I cannot tell your story. You can tell your story. NGC. Arthur, what led you to the NGC?
Okay, thank you very much. And family already listen to me. Oh my God, I don't know if I'm like to one go or to one want. Anyway, sometime back in 2013, I decided for joining the KKY movement. And I decided for joining KKY movement because of hope, opportunity, and transformation. You know, as a young Sierra Leonean, we all been they look forward to good governance, development, improved well-being of our people. And so we see Dr. Yomkela, not so bad we do for support time. We see I'm like somebody who don't reach a point in career, the UN. For can serve somebody way not to for can do like how any bad politician who can do. We see like somebody who go committed, go register in commitment to Sierra Leoneans only to serve and to serve only. And then some of us were motivated, were persuaded by his speeches, and we'll be able to see some amount of determination and some amount of seriousness in the way how we he put himself forward to we. And then I joined the movement right on from 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 9. NGC was born. Where NGC was born because it was KKY movement, and then I joined the KKY movement. Sorry, I joined the NGC as a election because I began for transforming life from a private business entrepreneur young man. I changed my life completely to being a politician, full-time politician. And as I talked to Una, so in 2017, for me to have the elections in 2018, I also been there for contest parliamentary elections for NGC right on in 2018 elections. And after the elections we lost, I made a commitment to Dr. Yomkela, the NGC leadership, and to Sierra Leone that in 1 month of campaign, people voted for me over 3,000 in my constituency. So I was happy about it. I say if over 3,000 people and get faith and then cast them vote for me, it means say
Okay, so viewers, una go get for be patient because both of we guess them tonight, they coming from Sierra Leone, the land, right? And una know the network situation at the land. So una go get for exercise a lot of patience with the network situation at the land. And don't take the time, this na early morning, wee hours in the morning, na Sierra Leone. I think it's about what, 12 going on 1 a.m. now. And then I also. So if they get interruptions, then we go to bear with them. But as we wait for Arthur for come back, let's go to Madam Silla. Excuse me. Madam Silla, Arthur talk about determination and seriousness of Dr. Kande Koleyinkela. Now, some of the traits and characteristics that they will draw him into the NGC, the formation of the NGC, because make people not forget, say the formation of the NGC was actually different people from within other political parties were not being gladdened with waiting they go on at the APC or waiting the SLPP they bring to the table. Now they come together. I believe the inception was PMDC, Samsumana, Dr. Bright, and then the KKY movement was going on, and then later KKY also joined, and then later it was transformed into the NGC. What in exactly, because I mean, for become the National Secretary General of a political party, something drew you to that. Something attracted you. What was that thing that attracted you?
Well, in the first of all, Steph, the message where NGC been done they put out since 2013. Remember, I thought you say about at the beginning the KKY movement, and how then they move from that it come inside NGC. But NGC being formed because of the rejection where Dr. Yumkela faced na SLPP. NGC not be informed because people they may get a philosophy or ideology in the aid way, they may want for promote way separate from all other party in Sierra Leone. It be informed out of rejection. You understand? Notwithstanding, we all know about that. We just look say this person, na person where go good for Salone, he get certain approach and ideals and ideas we go look for join, particularly some of we been in the diaspora at the time. Of course, we in the diaspora, you're not go able for the go party meeting and all the rest of it and so on, because time not there for that. But whatever you give to the movement, you can do on a regular basis just for the right thing then grab up in a salon. And me I mean one such diaspora where not to just diaspora I've been there. I've been on kind of Salone, I don't work here for during the Ebola epidemic for 2 years. I stationed at Lone Star. I've been there in charge of Lone Star Ebola Treatment Center. I've been work for Rainbow Center, Sierra Leone, and so on. So me not to be in diaspora, we just in a diaspora. I've been spread around. I work in some other African country them and kind of thing. So I mean a pretty strong idea of waiting at the team where for left for see for Salone. And it like for say when that rejection they happen for Dr. Yumkela, the kind of thing then we NGC form and begin to talk about it be really, really attractive. You get me? So now that's now the draw and the pull for come inside NGC at the time.
Okay, so it was about the message, like I say, now ideals and ideas, then they bring people in together. You been say una been get common ideals and common ideas them, and so therefore the message pull una and draw una inside the NGC and say, waiting, like the coin, the coiner or the creator of the message himself. When I say Alassane and Alusain not been the work. That is when we started hearing about Alassane and Alusain. So and this becomes synonymous with KKY, Alassane and Alusain. We need for make sure say Alassane and Alusain not remain the dominant force inside Salone, that there can be another option. There can be an option, a progressive option. There can be an option of change. There can be an option of development that need, like, that politics and development and advancement should not be limited to tribe, clansmen, and all of these things. So you all came together and you became part of the NGC. And I want to make my producer take me to those early days of the KKY movement. Those early days of the KKY movement, which will be in the area from the KKY, waiting pull a lot of people from the KKY. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Even though there was a lot of it appears to be there was a lot of momentum on the ground. Even though it appears that there was a lot of momentum coming from the diaspora. And if you look at the momentum at the time, there were people who had no reservation that KKY would come and sweep that election. But politics, sometimes it's about the mind. And it's about the DNA, unfortunately, at the areas the way we come out. So sometimes it take a lot of time for get into that transformation mindset, for make you arrive at your final destination. But I want go to be producer, I want make me producer take me to those early days. The days that gave people hope, the days that made people see this man as what they've been praying for, what they've been hoping for, and what they've been dreaming about. Yes, sir. This one, sir.
America and London, Holland people, they're all there, all get video. You can't forfeit to video you. Hague Day, international court, then go hold people there. Last one. Tolongo don't pull up $40 million Ebola money with them in teeth. Yeah? Now not to me say, oh, now it's my writer. Then they investigate my UK. The Auditor General of Salone self-recorder. How you nurse and you people then they die 4,000 when they eat $40 million. $40 million they build 100 school and for we. If they build big hospital, if they make almost road. Some man sit down and free on them people then they die. 30 day Ebola victim. So no get better. Now that true day we they talk. You know why they talk? Because me and the politician knock out baggage for nobody. Yeah? I no work now they chap make me life they chap people there. No. I work honestly overseas a car, say they can't fetch for me people there. And now for talk true. Who not afraid nobody, yeah? Now on a right, 5 days for election. Una take Tolongo money, una read Fatiha Pana. Our father, una eat ya, now una money, but una go vote for una future, una picking there, yeah? God bless una Sali Allah Muhammad.
United we stand! United we stand! We will not suffer!
And then we go to the one na parliament as well. Let us hear him in parliament and what, I don't go say what he represented in parliament, yes sir, but what some people thought he represented in parliament.
List of penalties and sanctions for those who believe that they can destroy the Athens of Africa by establishing fake institutions to give fake degrees, the so-called diploma mills. So at this point, I move the motion. Allow me to move the motion that this noble house adopts the report entitled Unearthing Academic Fraud in the Civil and Public Service of Sierra Leone, along with the penalties proposed by the Select Committee on Fake Degrees. We ask that these penalties are adopted by this noble house for onward submission to the government for appropriate enactment into law.
Thank you. Honorable members.
Them go say, Matilda, take we back to that time when he been team up inside SLPP office where the lock gates panel. Take we back to that time where, you know, in mama go team up na the office where them pull in I don't remember the right name, but I will say in hijab na in head, okay, the wrapping on her head, the scarf on her head. I will not take you back there because for me, when I know for say in everything I do, I'm very conscious. I may not know who his mother was, but in life I respect the elderly. And so in death will I respect them. And so for that single reason, I no go do that one day. Arthur, did your former chairman represented in parliament the hopes, aspirations, and dreams of the Sierra Leonean people?
Well, my former parliamentary leader, not chairman, well, I would say with honesty and sincerity, there are some times where, yes, it represents the hope, opportunity, and transformation agenda. There are some times where, yes, they do that, especially to the early days in Parliament. If I remember, there was a time where you talk about rankonomics, where you talk about how the government they spend money, pass out the money, then they recover in terms of revenue collection. Where you talk about the wage bill, you know, that fitty-fatter spending, you know, just to hire more people. Then and day, when the inflation begin to go up, the economy begin to bad. It's talked about rankonomics, and then it was fair enough to him. He been doing in the interest of Sierra Leoneans. There was also a time where he talked about junta democracy, you know, in the early days of in parliamentary life. Yes, we, you know, when we go fets for pull them members of parliament, they're inside the well of parliament, then turn away, you know, then they force for put Abbas Bundu Doctor as speaker of parliament. If he even be abstain, you know, be even take part for that voting day. He said because you don't know if the correct thing they don't do, you don't know if the parliament lawful or the parliament not lawful. You know, so there are times where you talk about the taxation, where he says Sierra Leone is in a poverty treadmill. He said we run, but we still in the same position. You know, so I still have good memories of him in parliament when it be actually they, you know, they do the Salone Force agenda and they perform the NGC way. But probably, let's say 2 years after, now begin to experience some, you know, some tactical moves, some tactical decisions, some changes. In fact, in the early first 2 years of parliament, any decision we want to take the parliament normally can come to the party chairman, the executives. Let we give with inputs, you know, what you will take. Instead of giving your own position, we debate them, then we come to a conclusion. You know, that
so it was a collaborative effort.
We take a decision in parliament where myself not be appreciate and not being in favor of that decision, but it was a unanimous, it was a decision where we agree as a party for take. Like during the term for the appointment of the NEC boss, Mr. Conway Connor. I've been totally against that particular appointment, but he convinced us that he said Uda go one for contest an election. Let's say in 2023, we go against the NEC boss. We outrightly condemn or go against a nomination in a parliament, but it would expect the man for be the referee and the elections where Ingo didn't have the tickets, Samuel Kamara didn't have the tickets, Julius Van Der didn't have the ticket, and then if we don't outrightly don't condemn the man, don't reject the man in appointment, of course, in get the feeling it is clear that the way our power party operates, as people they operate, you condemn them more, you not condemn them more, they will definitely, you know, appoint the man in parliament. Is there so? How do we want to face him if there's a situation we are in? You know, election they come, we get election challenges them, we want to go talk to them, and for let make sure they do everything right and all that. So you know, we had conversations that we make a series and say yes, okay, if the man meets the requirements according to the constitution, and then we compromise, and then may not be agreed, but at the end of the day, what am I trying to say? It being reached to we talk as a party, even though I not be agree, but we compromise, and in the interest of the party, we joined forces together and we back that particular decision day, and then you know we support the appointment of NEC in parliament, of the NEC boss in parliament. From that particular decision day, if you remember, then Harun Zubair will be vexed. Harun Zubair will be vexed for that decision day where he will make an outburst social media. We say Dr. Kanye cannot talk nothing, and then move fast forward to the COVID-19 state of emergency issue. So I not would like Pauna and the people of Sierra Leone. There were times where he really do work in the interest of Sierra Leoneans, and with respect to it do a good job to some extent in parliament until this latter part where we begin to see, some abstention, and he left for the engage we again in so many decisions we up in a parliament, and as a party for we make our own contribution. Like will be used for the DUA solely, and they do now solely within colleague members of parliament, them and the likes. So if I give them a great in terms of percentage of how we look at Sierra Leone people inside parliament, I go give them like 60%. I don't go lie. It try inside parliament.
Okay, so about 60%. So we are looking like I think is that a B? Not in, okay, that's a B, not a B minus. 60% now B on a C. Okay, or C plus, something like that. I don't know how they rate to now. How they rate? I think it's 70 words. That's then you go into the B. I think we are looking at a C plus there. If I look at the Canadian rating scoring system, Madam Silla, according to waiting after they say, for me, if I belong to a party and a leader, they come to me and give me the justification, say, because I belong to a political party and I get aspiration for contest the next election. Therefore, if even self I feel say this person where then they bring confront me for vet and for nominate and for approve, I feel say it wrong because I get aspiration and because I feel say the powers that be not go listen to me. Therefore, make I just go with the flow. Isn't that where the red flag should have started?
No, I think you misunderstand me, Matilda. Probably, I think you misunderstand. That's me correct. I not say it not be meets the requirements. It meets the requirements. Yes, but like I say, me not being there in favor for let the party support and that appointment say, because I've been hearing rumors say the neck boss get affiliation with the Slpp, blah blah blah. Then I've been hearing say we don't already get appointment as FIU head of FIU Financial Intelligence Unit. What I was trying to communicate is it give me reason say the man meets the requirements, and even though he meets the requirements, I say enough fine for let you make plaba with neck boss. The man meets the requirement. Well, I was trying to say that possibly at that particular time, not just to take a decision for himself. We talk as a family. It give me reasons then why we get for support him. One, he meets the requirement at that particular time, according to the Constitution of Sierra Leone. But me not be get confidence in that. Say not to buy confidence. You say and you not go make plaba with the neck boss. He say imagine elections, you don't go outright, you don't condemn the neck boss. How you go face am for let you challenge them now for let do it incorrect? He say in a situation wherein we get irregularities or issues that come up. You say
so I think we understand the point.
I put them, yes.
Yeah, so I think we understand the point where Arthur been the make, or the point from which I guess KKY come off from. We the people remember it differently. We the people remember it as a political appointee. We the people remember it as that appointment was one of the controversial appointments. There were 3 appointments that came down that were very controversial at the time. The appointment of the ACC boss, the appointment of the NEC person, and then there was an attorney general. Make we left the speaker of parliament because that was a whole different set of conundrum. Usai again, the now alliance leader, coined the word gentocracy. So I think for the first time we heard the word gentocracy being used by KKY, referring to what happened in parliament and the act, where the SLPP ruling party been decide for take. But then I go say myself na ya so. In many occasions, on many occasions, I don't defend KKY, I don't defend instance, I don't defend people saying things about him not doing certain things. then one time for do something and then feel say not to him they do. In many different ways, I try for bring the people to the knowledge and understanding why certain actions or certain decision might look as though in order to do what you're supposed to do. But I also notice again, in the last 2 years or so, I also notice in closeness to the opposition, because if you're in parliament, you're there to be an opposition. You're not there to be an ally of the ruling party. You know, I'm not saying you cannot find bridges, you cannot find common bridges. You know, I'm not saying, I not say una no go see one side per certain thing them. But when it look like for say all time una they see the same side, then people then they begin they squint a little bit. Then go begin they lock their eyes small for say this thing also not look like how it's supposed to look. And people started asking questions. And then we see things not happen. And people started asking more questions. And then we see the, you know, the whole world, or I don't hold what happened. And people started asking even more profound questions. And then people started saying, anytime when the president go na international fora or conferences, who the else they did it. And granted, when I say this, please, people will not take it the wrong way. The president gets the right to invite whomsoever. He gets the right to invite whosoever as part of his delegation. Dan Dena, he reserved the right for do that, right? But for some of we don't observe this thing so even before the election and after the election, we started saying, this closeness, it's becoming a little bit uncomfortable for some people. Is this a closeness born out of are they try for advise the president? Is this a closeness born out of, you need for listening to the people? Is this a closeness born out of aspiration? Like people were guessing, people were left, people had not been get answer. And then there were rumors, then corridor rumors then. But they say where there is where there is smoke, there is fire. Some people don't begin to see the smoke, they don't they see the smoke, they don't they talk about this, talk about this, talk about this. And I remember in all of everything where they go on, in December, the NGC had their convention. And I remember then one of the questions the way I asked, I said, how come NGC then they get the election quick sober? A delegate conference quick sober. It's look for me, it look precipitous, like it look too precipitating for me, the way how the whole thing came together, boom, 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 boom. I couldn't quite understand it. But then I was getting a lot of intel at the same time. But me not a person who believe in them say hearsay. I always wait for things to manifest before I speak. I hold my thoughts. Let me go to the callers, because in as much as we are doing this, I have my sets of questions and we'll go through them. The callers also might have questions that I already have that they would ask, then I don't need to ask mine. So caller, waiting at your name and who say you the call from. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Can you hear us? Okay, I think say this caller they get some difficulties. I go advise you for drop your call and then call in again while we keep it going, because I really appreciate these two people taking their time. Like I said, it's very late where they're calling from, and they're doing this for the green, white, and blue, only for the green, white. Caller, can you hear us? Okay, I'll advise that the caller hang up and call again while we continue with the show. So, January 28th come. Madam Silla, When you went to that NEC meeting, the events that occurred at that NEC meeting, when you left you host, you don't dress as part of the NEC membership, you been going at that meeting day.
Yeah.
Waiting eventually transpire. Now that day, now you been the hope for, you be don't get a feeling, say something like this was about to happen, or did it take you completely by surprise? What happened?
No, I would say it take me completely by surprise. Let me on the build up within the party office and in the general sort of party atmosphere where we get meeting, them arguments, then they erupt. Posting people in on kind of party office and on kind intimidate Arthur. We sit on the all day. We witness a lot of intimidation and violence towards them. We see how people then they jump up and down, they pass na the party office, and how people then they talk to people. So that atmosphere of violence and intimidation, it been on the build up. In fact, I've say since like the convention, to be honest, I noticed like arguments then they increase, boku talk then they come out, and people they had they're not steady, then they talk say how KKY get for left, and boku like the whole thing just mix up, box up with kongusa, with lie, who that they say this, who that not they say that, who that they afaf blabber them, and so on and so forth. And then some underlying tension, within the party structure of people then way being carried the party go neck on account of the election processes. So all thing being no peace not been there, no unity not been there, no collapse not been there, nothing like that. You can feel the tension, they build up. So till we reach to that point that I did it. But I want just for go back a couple of years, Matilda. You don't talk about how KKY been in a parliament and all that thing that will be happen day and so on and so forth. And then from then and they what then begin to come out all over, saying that this kind of person or this kind of move he want for make and all that kind of thing. So from quite early on, me they put and say the destabilizing process been don't start. You get me? So not just about the 28th of January or the convention or any kind of thing like that. All from then and they are not they talk in a parliament, the appointment of that person or this and that and all that kind of thing, and that destabilizing process they be non-start. The only thing where people are not being realized is that it been they go on. You understand? So the constant travel with the president, the rumors, the way they come say, this is the negotiate or you get for go SLPP, not they get the NGC members of parliament, not for they ask question them, or not for the jumping sighting, the way they go on a parliament. All of them and then are red flags. Now then people then can call a red flag. So you don't begin to see the sign and the symptom them. I mean, I'm posting all man no missing a professional. So you don't see the sign and the symptom them. You they afraid for give the diagnosis for say this kind of sickness this person get or that kind of sickness they get. But you they see all thing. You they see and say get that, you get cold, you get this, you get that, you get temperature, all that kind of thing. So but putting in the way we know they go on where people be they ignore. So come convention, come January 23rd and all that kind of thing, eruption of all of them thing the way people be the bottle and the behavior of people the way they vote into parliament under NGC ticket. So some them people had where them vote there under NGC tickets, then spend their time now, they undermine that very ticket they will carry and go inside it. If something like that, they will scatter something and not see waiting else good one. Because you see, Sierra Leone, as poor as we are in this country, nobody not they will like deceit. Nobody know they will like hypocritical person or person where they bring waiting we Madinga then call it Yamfa first way they bring plaba or bad thing and kind of place for scatter something. You get me? It,
Yes.
we post, we still not like anything ending. So boku, if you look right from the early days, then that constant travel, you know, at the end of the day, if you're not a member of parliament, any member of parliament in this country, then they pay you from something what they call the unconsolidated fund. And
Yeah.
it means that whether they pay you salary every month, you suppose for the other parliament, then now you job that. You get me? You they represent you people them inside parliament. So if you know the day inside, not only in a salon, me the year say you get opposition member of parliament where they travel regularly with, you know, they're part of the government, you're not opposition member. You for the fete for you young people there, you they travel regularly with the president. Then we all sit down say that and they correct. No, it's not correct. You know, they are pinosa again. Why na Salone people like can dump all kind bad behavior and think they were not right, when not in a non-code of conduct, then dishonest, they not they tell people then the right thing, and then they seek for destroy the very vehicle and vessel where carry them go outside and they go. I want to let people then answer me then question then they.
Yeah. So indeed, you
Yeah.
don't pose, you don't answer a very, very relevant fact is that one of my problem with the opposition, and this not to just the NGC, it goes for all the other opposition parties then inside parliament. The thing where I get with them is that the time where important legislatures then and they bring inside parliament, where they're supposed for sit down there for debate them, where they're supposed for take them turn, and really that is the time what you beg the people for, vote me to represent you. That is that moment. But it been very surprising for me when the figures then can do for say 40% of the people they want to vote for no ever open their mouth inside parliament for say think for now. 40%.
What are
40%.
they doing
And
like?
then are
Waiting when
nearly
they
all
inside. Waiting then they do inside parliament.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So for me, my answer to that is name these 40 people. Name these people that make up this 40%. And the solution to that is they should never be voted into that parliament again. And then my other answer to it is that if you are a leader of a political party inside that parliament day, and you not show up for 75% of the time, and this I'm being very generous here, you also have no business being a parliamentarian. Because means say you not get term for represent the causes of the people. It means say bad laws will be passed because of your absence, because you are not there to defend the people. So you see some things, many a times we take them things so for granted, because again of the societies, the way we come off, the places, the way we come on, we have this very, very laissez-faire attitude. We get this omojuba, yes ma, yes pa. No. When they should be on the other end, yes in ma and yes in you, sir. So again, Arthur, I ask you the question, how did the NGC party as a whole? Now I know they look at Dr. Yunkelo, because remember this discussion not solely focused, we are looking at things as a whole. How did the NGC party as a whole fare in parliament? Did they truly represent the ideals, the visions of the NGC? Did they truly work for the people of Sierra Leone as they promised the people of Sierra Leone?
Well, NGC gets representative in parliament. We've been get 4 parliamentary as representatives. Dr. Keller, Honorable Tito, Honorable Baisama, and Honorable Mario. But I'll tell you that the public knows Dr. Keller nationally and internationally, but the public hardly identified themselves with the other parliamentarians. That tells you they're not being as vocal, they're not being as outstanding as how Honorable Abu Kagbo, Honorable AKK, Honorable Tawa, Honorable Hindelo Gevao. I'm giving you parliamentarians na the other sides because as you call the name there, you must know you give one voice, or you go don't see they don't camp on one or two programs, which tells you that they were basically, doing their job and we really get time. And I will say they not make their own contribution, to be honest with them. But if I want to make it very fair to us as Sierra Leoneans, they're not represent we as we really expect in terms of percentage. Generally, the NGC, where you put all the 4 MPs then together out of you want for class them individually, I would tell you so Dr. Mkela did like 60%, but if you put them all together, no, then the representation not being as how we want them if you put them all together. That's how I look at it. To be fair to them, I know there are so many times where I've been called them, say, but we're not going to represent in our radio programs, we're not going to represent in our television programs. They can do interviews on radios and TVs where they can call APC MP, Slpp MP. You hardly see NGC MP represent. Let's say they all be depending. There are so many times they get out, but excuses will keep coming out. We're busy within our constituency, with this, with that. So I wasn't happy about that. I'm not being really happy about that. And there was never a time I could ever remember where any one of them make a representation on behalf of the party out of parliament where I go say a member. I know, and I know go say probably they don't do it at all. But I know member. That tells you that their contribution all together, all 4 of them, not being good enough.
Okay. So another thing, now I read the report, the committee report. Madam Sila don't tell we clear and I also say, in front of her and many others, they witness assault on you. They witness intimidation being levied on your personhood at the party office. But when the report come on, the report said there was miscommunication and no mistreatment or ill treatment or assault. So, and that's the only term where scaffold don't ever happen, that maybe around the convention or during the convention, and on that said day when there was some misunderstanding of certain things being said. So I don't want to call these committee members a liar, because me self not been dede. They are reporting based on, they said they spoke to you. I saw when things got escalated, I have seen the messages you privately sent to Dr. Kanda Yunkela, telling him this is what is happening to me. Can you please intervene, sir? And I saw his response in turn. But then, I saw when you also did a follow-up to find out what he has done to remedy the situation so you can feel safe, which you have 100% right to be safe in your party office. That's your political party. That's the political party you represented. But the outcome of that investigation seems skewed. It seemed like for say you they say one thing, then they say one thing. It sounds like for say at no point when I look waiting you they say, and when I look waiting then they say there is no time or point where I can able to bridge the two together halfway. What do you have to say?
When it comes para side, the NGC situation and the way how the party been there from 2020, I don't like to talk about halfway, because if I talk about halfway, I don't want to be seen as if I'm fighting back or I get grudge or na hate or na fitiai, So when I want to talk about the NGC situation, I don't know if you could give me time. I will summarize certain things, then get to that point. Because I want the public to understand properly. I don't want to just say halfway things. To start with, I come for realize so many things when I can open by so many things after our delegate conference in December. Now I can open by plenty things. And I not go lie, before that, I've been the beaucoup in them. I've been the see beaucoup in them. My mind can tell me inside about things the way, I do my own individual assessment, but I had so much respect and admiration and trust for Dr. Yomkela. So I almost deny back, say, no, not possible, not possible, not possible, not possible. But however, before the next meeting, I've been not understand now clearly waiting they happen. And I go to the next meeting, they never call Sila go tell you, and I go to the next meeting, they're not expecting anything much than waiting we go see. So, but before the next meeting, I begin after the delegate conference, what think happen? Dr. Kande Yomkela can go team with President Bio for meet up that New Year's Day. If people can remember, President Bio post say him brother, then they on New Year's Day, they talk about peace and how to work together. They tell and say for come back home. Some kind of messaging they've been come out to the public. Shockingly for me, basically, I've been the multitask for that party. They do plenty of things. And one of the things they do now for design, the methodology, the messaging, how they communicate and they report to the media about things that really happen at the party. So I've been play more of a role as a media person, as a research person. So if anything we got for do with Dr. Yomkela on the NGC and media and communication, they can communicate to me. Say, "Atona susu they happen na susu na the messaging." But shockingly for me, I just see pictures on social media that our parliamentary leader and family members then they team immediately after we delegate conference. So the very big shock. I said, waiting it. And with all the rumors that we will play up, I will feel say after we delegate conference, we go straight now to campaign and not to Tiwo they play hide and seek again in a situation wherein I've been the rumors they already play, but I've been the downplay them because I feel say we are being tactical. Like you could say you handing a policy months. By then we'll be on the PPRC saga, petitioning upon petitioning, elections, management issues, violence during our lower level election. So I've been say with parliamentary leader basically they take it easy. Follow will go through the delegate conference, get the national executive, and immediately after we can able to steam the campaign now and focus really for contest the elections. So I not really expect a visit na team, especially so we not be informed. So why is the one? And then he said to me, he said, "Ato, you say you see what I see?" I said, "No, sir." I said, "Yes, sir, sorry." He said, "You know anything about this visit?" I said, "No, sir." I said, "You know anything about this visit to team?" He said, "No, I don't know." I said, "You sure you don't know?" He said, "Yes, I don't know."
So hold on, Arthur. So right here on the show, you're confirming that the parliamentary representative of your party had a visit or whatever with the president, something that is as significant as that, put out to the public, and the chairman of the party didn't know about it?
Nobody knows.
That is exactly what I'm explaining. The chairman and leader of the party don't know of the
wait. Namako, please come again. What did you just say?
Nobody knows.
The chairman and leader and the national executive of the NGC
Yes.
get no idea of that meeting.
Would that be no? Obviously no. But what I mean, we've been there inside the executive, we don't know. We just see him, we see him tweet, the president tweet him. Now that we didn't know.
So, as I explained to Una now, that particular visit day, at that particular time after we delegate conference, it killed public trust for the NGC because people in just can say, we tell Una, say this man, they go Slpp. So the public, keke riders, market women, ordinary people, they don't draw the conclusion now say, Dr. Kande Yomkela don't go Slpp. So then it been tell on especially so where we not be informed. So as a party, we not be even know how to react to the media. We not be even know what for say. So what can happen? We'll be in a party office. We'll discuss this issue and the negative effect, with that particular visit they don't cause the party. So I come and people were asking my opinion. Party members, they asked me opinion. Atopias, what do you think about that visit? Now, I say, as far as me concerned, that visit for me, I say, fine for the party. I say, especially so at this particular time. I say, and we will not inform about the visits. I say, we don't communicate to the public waiting that visit the day about.
Right.
I say, but that Dr. Mkela not inform the party about the visits. Then President Bio and the SLPP, they communicate to the public about the visit. I say, it tells a different story to the public. I say, and me now, then they call me on radio, call me on TV, at OPS, waiting they happy, and also. So I say, this basically, it don't bring down the ratings of NGC immediately after a delegate conference. So why should they make that statement? And I also say, but as a private person, as a stakeholder, a statesman of this country, I'm not going to stop and say enough for go see President Bio. I'm not going to stop and say enough for meet, enough for engage. I said, but communicate to the party. Let the party know, say, we parliamentary leader, the go yonder. Let we be the very first person for tell the narrative to the public that the parliamentary leader of the NGC will be making a visit to team with the president, blah, blah, blah. When that message come up from we as a party, as the very first communicator, then
because
the public
you want to be in control of the narrative.
Yes,
it gives you an opportunity to be in control of the narrative.
That statement the way I make, now they at Opia get the biggest problem at the NGC party. So a security bodyguard will be assigned. Dr. Mkela, one of his security bodyguard will be assigned at the party office day, where they talk me opinion, private opinion about that particular visit, how I feel. Now I communicate that straight to the other security bodyguards them of Dr. Kande Yomkela. When you communicate that straight to them, automatically then look at like for say me not get right for give me your opinion. Then look at like for say I don't feel the leader. Then look at like for say I don't disrespect the leader. So to be honest with you, the other day, me and Dr. Bright can at party office can do with normal work. Madam Nyamakoro said been in our office, they wait for we. As they pack me motocar down the streets of Nimbana streets with the chairman and leader and me to come together because in motocar been get some breakdown. I go pick an house for local work. I begin Mami cost them. Now put on the radio for Sierra Leoneans and for understand. I begin Mami cost them from the streets. The security bodyguard then begin cost me, mama. Cost me all kind costs. Say me 150 I pay, me disrespectful, me ungrateful. In fact, they're ready for beats me in a buff. They're ready to go choke me in a buff. Nothing go come up behind them. Ashamed na the public. You know, I'm your area, that one in my own community. So what I do, I work quick, I go up the party office. All of them, all of the security, about 4 or 5 of them, then follow me to go inside the party office in the full view of the public.
Oh, wow.
In the presence of the chairman and leader of the party, Nyamako, and all the party members. Then they almost beat me up. Now, God way, I just set me mort. Because they were so confident that say they go beat me, not
Wow.
go come. So what thing can happen? Dr. Bright come, he try for intervene, say we not talk to them, the security, they say now calm down. These are party issues. We not get right for actually come address the national officer like that way. They, but he come in a very, calculated way for cool tempers down. So I sent a private message to Dr. Kande Yomkela. I said, Doc, now this time I explain all waiting be, I explain waiting I talk, I explain waiting the security then talk. In that message where you see on social media, where they reported about miscommunication, blah, 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 and this and that. And then, respond to me. Reply back. And then I was surprised that I sent such a message explaining my situation, how my life is threatened, how security, they attack me inside the party office. Then they tell me now how me for do my own work as a national officer, an elected regional chairman of the Western area. Security bodyguard, they can't tell me now what me for do, cost me, threaten me, and all in a day. Disgrace me in public. I mean, they expect, a response ASAP, but I don't get them. I say, okay, a patient one day today. Now I send a message back. I said, Dr. Yomkela, I said, I expect you for respond to this message. And then he said, I go check. He said, I will check. He responded, he said, I will check. Shortly after, the same security bodyguard then back, then go slap the National Police Secretary inside the same NDC party office. Now they then beat him back up. In the person of Wilfred Alimami Wise. And then they also
so now the thing don't turn violent. It's not safe for anyone anymore. It's become violent. It's become volatile.
Very volatile. Very, very volatile. That same day we then go meet. Yes. Sorry, Arthur. That same day we then go meet Arthur in our office, we then threaten him and almost beat him up, if not to be for Dr. Bright, and the fact that plenty of women there. One of them, we actually get a word of $1,000. I don't know if not 1,000 or whatever dollar. Plenty dollar in coat pocket. He pull he show me inside the office where I sit on, say if not be seen, he can go sleep in a jail and get money for pay through in way for come on a jail. He can beat people there up. He go pay in a jail for making us sleep in a jail. Then kind of thing, Now this very same body that I meet that day when we go for the neck meeting, na Family Kingdom, we can meet me inside the toilet. They try to prevent me for use the toilet. It can meet me right inside the toilet. Right inside the toilet.
Wow. So this thing, it don't come up and please finish. Yeah.
So I actually demanded for I get a response from a parliamentary leader, because after the security bodyguard and do another second assault inside the party office, we saw pictures of Dr. Kande Yomkela and the security bodyguard at the jog na beach. So the pictures they were at the jog na beach. I said, other people there also go the job with Dr. Kande Yomkela na beach. Then the kind of party office, they can beat we up, threaten we up, and then the next minute we see them, they exercise together. So inside my mind, I did wonder, I said, what in the happen so? And then I sent another message. And then Dr. Kande Yomkela replied. He said, I don't check. He said, but where I come, I will try for putting all to one path. he say, if not, we go get an amicable separation. That was his response to me. So I was also surprised. I said, so
Wow,
now
I'm stunned.
the response,
Sorry.
the response where they get, put all waiting me complain, he saying don't check. Full stop. When me and to see, it go put me in at the same pathway. If me and not go at the same pathway, let's separate amicably. So that response day alone turned me off completely. I lost confidence, and I not be ever feel say again secure at the party, and I not be ever feel say again I go, I go ever get the response or the action where I be expect for him for such, go stop. So out of respect for him, I set me mots. I complained back to the parliament, to the chairman and leader for letting himself take another action. Fast forward to the reports where them publish. There's so many things that they were not correct. So many things when a fraud.
Inaccuracies.
I even take phone call. I call some of the big man name with their name they pan report. I say for true, so you sign that report today. I say for true, so now when I send that report, then you put your signature there. Say na so be. I say for really. I say when I be explain to the committee when I said after I resigned. When all they see the thing, I say, no, they sorry for me. Then at the end of the day, when I put out a report, like that kind of thing, they lie, say, na NGC security bodyguard way. Of course, we not get NGC security bodyguard. Now, Dr. Yomkela in personal security bodyguard there. I said, this is not fine, no. I say, not fine at all. I say, but me, I know they fed for me, say, for I left me case, God go fed for me. That was my response. So with regards to the report, my sister, now so it be. I was so annoyed when I see the report. It even warrants me for respond to radio and television's interviews because I've been on this for keep me cool and go beer and start life all over again. But the report come back now though, it was then they provoke you back after all the thing they don't do to you. I've been feel so embarrassed. So that's it with regards to the violence. And on the next meeting, they even attacked me back at the next meeting, the January 28th. Them take Nef, boss me motocar tire, or to me motocar tire, then boss am with Nef. That's why I end up in Dr. Boyd's Bride Dede, Yamakoro, no, many other officers. I get video on my phone with them of that. So, not
honestly, I am shocked. I am so shocked because maybe they feel say I am really shocked. Like now me shock one day, so maybe they feel say NGC na the party of peace, the party of amicability, the party of brotherhood and sisterhood.
No, Matilda, I want to be very honest with that. All the time we are in a conference, particularly so from the team after the team visit, after that visit na team. Before that, we'll not be ever as a party getting kind levels of violence. Of course, argument today from politics. Me reading I also when I be the contest elections, we had serious arguments where me and some party people and we would they against each other for positions. Dennis Bright versus Madam Pulun. We arguments we normal in politics. You understand? But that levels of violence, when I say violence, it begin for happening at the NGC after the next visit after the delegates conference and the team visit. That level of violence it begin at the NGC party. I want to be very fair with NGC, even though I know they I want to make sure I say waiting correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically I don't go say unceremonious, but the shocking turn of events by I go say the presidential person of the NGC party and in seemingly close relationship to the political party And, you know, having said everything he said against this political party and what he stood for and what his party represented, I think say bring about, you know, a shift, a divide in ideology. Um, Madam Sila, some people then will say, well, all this not been done. Some people then go say na this na a clash of opinion or a divide in ideas that people took sides. Because we remember, you know, Dr. Dennis Bright resign, we see Alan Luke resign, we see you resign, we see Atopias resign. I don't know if any other person then resign, but I'm sure there are those who left the party who became disinterested in the party. Some people,
Yeah.
me, the way when me look I look as, and I said this at the onset when all of this thing began Canada formally. I say, you know what, in the NGC, they go through them processes. Every political party goes through their processes. And this is the time when the NGC, they go through their own processes and eventually they go fend themselves and stabilize themselves. And at the time, and I still do right now, even as I sit here at the talk this. At the time, I find it really hard, even though I've been get idea of, you know, the closeness will be they happen between the president and Dr. Kode Yunkela, and they get rumor of this, and they engage people them in conversation. I never saw it, like I don't ever see them for reach this stage to the point where we are talking about a formal alliance between the NGC, you know, mainly steered by Dr. Kande Yunkela and the SLPP for many different reasons. And one of the reasons that when they been finance so difficult, and that make us say maybe clash of ideas by two leaders, is that on numerous occasions, I don't use like Dr. Dennis Bright and the BAPSAM. They go sit down first in jail, na CID, like then 1 week first, or sometimes a whole weekend on so many occasions. And I don't see Usai, I think Ion whatever was working with the co-op, the formation of the co-op and all of that. And then to myself, I say, it is impossible that the person who una altuna comrade, who una altuna colleague, when una altu supposed for the engage, Ingo sit down, they go do time. Then the same very people that were responsible of in time doing, you sit down, they make tete-a-tete with that person there. I'm like, I cannot fathom it. So here I ask you, some people and they say, Una resign, and a lot of people and the executive resign because of clash of idea, because Uno be want a formation with the APC, and Una be want alliance with the APC, and Uno be want alliance with the SLPP, and because can the Kole Yunkela insist and see say an alliance with the SLPP is more profitable than an alliance with the APC. Now that make Unu vex. So in your own words, what was the non-negotiable for you? Because Dr. Dennis Bright not there, so I can't ask him, say, sir, what for you was the ultimate? As I read the letter, I read what he said in the letter. But only a man knows what's in his heart, some of which he will say, some of which he will not. For you, what's in have been the non-negotiable will make you say, I am out?
The record of the government. The record of the government. Waiting don't happen to the people of Sierra Leone from 2018, where we get this government, to now. You understand? I deal with facts and figures. I know they deal with sentiment when it comes to the thing there. So unequivocal when it comes to the people of Sierra Leone. Waiting be interest me now how this government done the waka with them people here. So which we people then we all now the country, although me just come a couple of years ago. How the government done the waka since 2018, and the record of the government I don't know how for call and pancreas, but it abysmal. Not to anything where anybody we get small lily goodness inside them. They gladly for go join them for say we they make alliance. You can talk about anything which you want to talk, human rights abuses, extrajudicial killings, the economy, the basic cost of goods and services. I don't know a bit more about that because they may not do research on basic cost of goods and services in this country. You know, even the education system where the government is saying that the flag winning, which they call them something, it is still
Flagship
very poor. Boku side and they picking and still not they go school. They're not they talk about that. We not they see any real time data for say, oh, where the government been start with something 2018 till 2023 now so they don't do now this kind of benefits they don't provide for the people of Sierra Leone. We see say over the 5-year period, we president don't travel past 500 times inside the first 6 months of a presidency, then spend over 20 billion leones pan travel expenses normal. It been come inside government. It talk on a BBC at England attending. It talk on a BBC say it want for reduce the travel expenditure of the previous government. When it come, it not only double that travel day, it quadruple that travel day. It talks say it want reduce the government bill, the wage bill. You know, reduce government, let businesses then get chance for employ more people. If you reduce that government building, then you will get more opportunity for doing right by the people of Sierra Leone. In fact, the government bill, the government wage bill, it don't plus every nook and cranny, every little corner where you go inside, then they employ person, then put on it. You get me? We sit down and so somebody been in our social media, we're very talkative, we always talk for the government and this and that. In the last 18 months, I just hear you say them pull and come on America, male person who say they work as nurse, then can put on a state house as the presidential spokesperson. Any side where you pass, somebody they some side where they employ, then put her inside it. Nothing other where they see on road maintenance. The increase of accidents on we roads, the lack of independence of we institution them, the police, the judiciary, all of them thing in there. I don't see any improvement in terms of the service whether they offer or them benefits to the people of Sierra Leone. As for the Bank of Sierra Leone, waiting at the rumors and waiting at the fact, I mean, we get some information from Africanist Press, which is then a group of people where they put out regular information on waiting they happen insofar as use of government funds is concerned. We see plenty instances where they showy bank withdrawals, where people from president office, first lady office, they go to a bank and just they go to then say that they go to central bank on a day-to-day basis, demand, oh, today we want $20,000 and pull and give them. Tomorrow we want winning. You know, the rate of inflation, we start 2018, the rate of inflation being 7 point something, I believe. Today it is over 40%. I mean, you just if you really understand anything and then you see them, you read them, you find the example them of other West African countries that you watch their inflation rate, you watch waiting at the cost of goods and services. I mean, they're all sort of not good. But when you look Salone, and then you compare them to other countries, then you compare like for like. We don't want to compare with America or Canada or any Western nation. You compare like for like. Sierra then get a really rough deal. Now we get at this country. So these are the things where me sit down and look at. I cannot imagine how person will put out a lot about himself, say, now me na person we don't use for fala protocol, I don't use for fala waiting and tell me for do within that UN structure. We
Very
keep
methodical, very structured. Yeah.
yes, structure and all of that. We keen on doing all of that. Immediately we come to Sierra Leone, nobody know the follow structure anymore. Nobody know they do waiting at the right thing. You they see people and they do wrong things, so you they behind them and say you they support them or you they join them in alliance. But you know opposition. If take let me just take this Salone story. We put her inside any other country. For argument's sake, we put any Western European country, say France or United Kingdom. I mean, would it be possible? No. But then you're not person where you don't walk this kind of way. You show we say now this kind of way where you don't walk now and give you this expertise, give you this knowledge, it give you the skills, it give you the sabi for can show we how for do and impart this to the rest of the people then. But when you come now a completely different turnaround and we see why is that? So on the basis of the record of the government alone, if I disqualify any alliance, unless now something underhand did it.
So, Madam Sila, I go ask you and Arthur, this question go to una all too. Some people they say, now because Dr. Dennis Bright been want for make the NGC align with the COP, where inside the APC day as well, and that because when that the APC was greedy about forming a partnership with the NGC, that's why KKY, after a while became disinterested and then begin the old world na the other side. So, I can ask you that.
Nothing for do with any kind of alliance with anybody. Now, leader of parliament in parliament for NGC party. I mean, all of these lines are very blurred because waiting on a salon with the people just not a walk out and supposed for work. The chairman and leader of the party, the person where for really they make arrangement or agreement or any kind of thing with COP, with anybody for be at the time for be Dr. Bright. It no get nothing for do with KKY. Actually, by right, if Ingo make any agreement or alliance with anybody, that is totally disqualified because he not get the mandate and he not get the legal right for make such alliances, not to invoke that. But because within a country, the fight at the right thing, I'm sorry, Matilda, we have to make this clear. Because
no, I want you to make it clear. I want you to make it clear. I definitely want to make it clear because me and you and maybe Arthur and some few people know that when there is a political party and there is a chairman of that political party and there is a parliamentary head of that political party, the role and functionality is then different. And when it comes to negotiation, political negotiation, alliance, brokerage, all these things, now the chairman na in job done the policies because he works within the lines of rules and policies than they na in work. Yes, but the society where we they live, the country where we come out, people blur the line. They don't know the difference. They don't know the difference at all. And that is why this is what actually created. This is part of what created this conundrum. This is what actually created this misunderstanding. Because people and they will still believe, say, because KKY na the parliamentary head or elected presidential, potential presidential flag bearer. Therefore, it is within his right to form alliances with political party. They don't know that, no, that was the job. Even right now, KKY not get the right for go do that outside of the consent of, is it for the Mami Suma that is the current chairman? He doesn't have the right, but people, they don't know these things. They don't know these things. They don't know how these laws and these policies, these
Matilda,
acts and this formation should work. So yes, I agree with you 100%. Waiting Namakoro, they say is 100% right. KKY had no right, and now that make during the co-op meetings them now Uda una been the city. Now Dr. Dennis Bright una the city, who was rightfully supposed to be there negotiating on behalf of the NGC. So if the SLPP wanted to negotiate with the NGC, the person that they should have contacted, the person that they should have engaged with is Dr. Dennis Bright and not Kande Kole-Yunkela. However, because Kande Kole-Yunkela gets this close association with the SLPP, was a former SLPPN, and then it gets this kind of family ties as well with the current regime, it made it easy. It made it easy for that sort of marriage to
Matilda,
happen.
let me help you. Let me
Go ahead.
help you, and help listeners and viewers. This issue of we resign because we want go APC, want go support APC na COP or SLPP. Let give you the background. You know, me don't think at the party long enough for understand everything, absolutely everything.
100%.
This thing but strategic alliance, it began in 2020, if you not remember. And when it began in 2020, Dr. Dennis Bright and Madam Femi Taylor School and many other political parties, them, you know, will be
Dr.
all
Jonathan Sandy and all these people.
Yes, all man be defect the government on many issues them way inimical to Sierra Leoneans, but will not be the get proper response. We're not able to get the government properly. You know, like you say, we one man cook for you, they eat, but we 10 man cook for you, you go choke, you go bell full. So
Right.
there was the need for opposition political parties for come together, for they speak with one voice on issues that we consider inimical to the people of Sierra Leone. So the birth of COP. So COP not to be a political party, neither not to be a coalition. COP na a consortium of opposition parties. We as NGC executives by then, before we join COP, we go to the party top level. By then, we still get the INTC, the Interim National Trustee Council. In that decision-making body, now Dr. Kande Yomkela will be the chairman of the INTC. Because before the NGC elections in 2018, there was not enough time to have a properly constituted constitution. So we get some kind caretaker constitution who get an INTC body. And in that INTC, Dr. Kande Yomkela was the chairman of the INTC. When at the INTC by then will be the highest body of the party, and then you get NEC. So Dr. Dennis Bright been take this motion to the INTC that we party in conversation with other opposition political parties, and you know look at the issues they will affect now the country. So we want for team up together for begin for affect the issues they are. So government will take we serious and take Salone people and serious. One key issue we bring about the birth of opposition parties working together and have been the local government issue where President Bio and the New Direction government say then they can't depoliticize local council or they can't put political party them for participate in local council. So we've been getting full mandate of INTC, including the chairman of INTC, Dr. Kande Yomkela, for where we work with all opposition party, including APC, for threats against the government and the indenting they also consider as inimical. We did not go to COP on our own. In fact, when COP was graduating to a point where we signed the memorandum of understanding, we bind we as opposition parties for work together. If I remember, I would have been checked, now been the day for Madam Femi Kwejoskolin's 60th birthday. We will be the plan for do that na the Madam Femi Kwejoskolin in party office. And Dr. Yomkela was so in support of COP that he said, no, let's make him in a grand style. In fact, he make contact and he pay for Brookfields Hotel. We been careful move the signing of the COP agreement to Brookfields Hotel.
Yeah.
This background what they give to you and the public now for confirm that Dr. Kande Yomkela now in as INTC chairman, as the head of INTC by then will be the highest body of the NGC party, give Dr. Dennis Bright the go ahead as INTC chairman, Ato Pias and the party secretary general Amadou Sharif to be permanent representative of NGC in COP.
Yeah.
So when we begin to work na COP, we begin to work with opposition parties then, we begin to challenge government on issues with inimical. We can begin to say we succeed, the international community, they give backing. You know, we won almost all of the battles we fought together. And then progressive conversations then begin to emerge. So, but look how we work together as opposition political parties. We fight against the government. We don't stop them on so many things. The cybercrime bill, the depoliticization of local government act, you know, the World Bank, sorry, what should I call it? The midterm census, and you know, all of those issues, the World Bank began for pull out. These were real-time things that we COP battle as opposition parties together, where we were able to make significant impacts against the government, we help for safeguard Sierra Leoneans. Fast forward. Conversations now, working the COP meeting, begin to graduate, say, well, look how they work together, look how it's fine. We all get different, unique qualities. APC get their own qualities, NGC get their own qualities, UP get their own qualities, C4C get their own qualities, PMDC get their own qualities, PDP, you know, all other parties we signed to the communique, we signed to the memorandum of understanding. So conversations from Madam Femi Kwejoskol begin to say, why can't we work together in a government of national unity? Why can't we stop this too much fighting, do me or do you? You know, why can't we begin to think of how to govern and govern properly, where we go win elections after election? These conversations are conversations we might begin to have discussions on. So basically, that unity and conversations of national cohesion, now COP first begin for discuss that. And then the discussions graduated. It graduated to a point we begin for discuss as to how we go elect for work in a government of national unity. It was Dr. Kande Yomkela who, in fact, drafted with other colleagues, drafted a working document how NGC go work with APC on the COP agreements. So when people in the talk say, now Dennis Bright, now Dennis Bright won't care NGC go go APC. Now Dennis Bright now he want force the party for go work with APC. No. The first draft of how NGC go there in communication and see how NGC go for work with APC was drafted by Dr. Kande Yomkela. Now in draft that document, he handed to Dennis Bright for Dennis Bright look. And for Dennis Bright begin for think about how we will work about work with APC and other parties them in COP. He was fully on board. He was fully on board. Now he was 100% in support of COP. I don't go hide that ID. So we begin for get conversations with COP. And shortly after, what you can see, we see a tactical move. I call them a tactical move or a strategic move because I have so many other things that women feel say happen behind the scenes of this particular move. But for many good reasons, I will just save that for another day. But it is a strategic move by President Bio. We see a strategic move by President Bio, where President Bio go give Kande Yomkela that cup na Kichom, say the ask him brother for come over back na SLPP. When that move was made by President Bio, Dr. Kande Yomkela said it was not a move we're aware about. It may be a surprise move, according to Dr. Kande Yomkela. Of course, now, me not to believe that anymore. But by then, I've been believed that. But now, I don't believe that anymore. In my mind, I feel like, I might be wrong, but I feel like, now, because of the discussions, the way them be done again, because Dr. Yomkela said, I have been in discussions with President Bio for over 1 year. That statement the way he make now public say in don't they talk to President Bio for over 1 year. That now in and President Bio don't they get their own private conversation. Now give me another thought that maybe now because of them conversations they are with them get, make it don't tell and say, well now for Kaname village, Kana Kichom can ask for I go join you party. I might be wrong, but as a human being, I get right for feel so because after that visit, where President Bio go hack Dr. Kande Yomkela in hand for come back na SLPP, Dr. Kande Yomkela also asks we for invite COP for go visit them back in Akichom. Dr. Yomkela made that request that, okay, until President Bio don't come meet me in Akichom, una way they represent NGC COP, una self invite COP leaders they for come na Akichom, le una come meet with me. Before they go there, if una member, Dr. Anes Baikoma be invite COP na Makeni. If una member, una go see that picture where we team up na Anes Koma in veranda or in step na Makeni. All COP leaders, them, all the COP logo say, I am APC, I am NGC, or I am whatever party, but I am a proud member of COP.
Yeah.
And Anes Koma make in commitment to the AP to COP that we APC, me as chairman and leader of APC, I go make sure say me party APC work with COP. He made that commitment very clear to us. We all here. So Dr. Yomkela also invite COP na Kichom after we President Biodon will make this tactical or strategic move. What think happen? What will go there as COP? COP we expect a commitment also from Dr. Kande Yomkela, just like what Anes Baikoma did in Makeni at his residence. But waiting COP go see, Dr. Yomkela refused to make a commitment to COP that me na NGC, me na proud member of COP. He refused to make that commitment to COP. So when he refused to make that commitment to COP, Ambassador Yansane was so annoyed, he been vexed. He said, oh, we don't come out to President Koma, he don't make a commitment to COP. We expect you will invite we for make yourself your commitment to COP. So we go for design a pathway how we work together. But Dr. Yomkela did not make any commitment to COP. So what happened? Ambassador Yansane will be the Secretary General of APC been vexed from para meeting day, and then the meeting be scattered, all man can na us. Shortly after, waiting can happen. Now, APC Peter Conte saga can begin. The executive will be run the affairs of APC, will be get interest in the COP conversation, then can boot them out of the leadership of the party, and then Peter Conte comes in with his 21-man committee, or I don't remember the amount of committee again. But what am I trying to say to the public, and for Claire Dr. Dennis Bright in name and in character? Dr. Dennis Bright begin work with APC through the guidance and supervision of the INTC by then, when I be with the chairman was Dr. Kande Yomkela, and we all develop relationship with APC and opposition parties through COP. and conversations begin for work together under the COP umbrella. Say yes, we for come together. Now we first begin talk about unity. Now COP now the first party we begin talk about unity. And in no way did APC not be one for work with Dr. Kande Yonkela. That statement is not correct. In no way. Because I know very well that he was the one who refused to make a commitment to COP. Why he refused to make a commitment at that time, I don't know. I don't know. But
Okay.
between me and
Arthur,
Una,
thank you very
yeah.
much for clearing that. People know, I had conversations with co-op. Me self been don't attend few co-op meetings them. Co-op them in don't kind inside some meetings them as well where we've been there, inside the diaspora unity campaign. At the time where during that time I think I was chairing those meetings and stuff where I had a lot of varied conversation with the representative, different political representations them inside the COP, several meetings and what have you. But again, I'm not always at COP meeting. Arthur was there. So the person where he don't talk how he been be. I don't care who that say. If you not been sit down inside the meeting then day, you not been there. Please don't say, Matilda, you taking sides. I'm not here to take sides. If you were in those meetings, if you were at those meetings and you have your own side of what transpired, please, the platform is always open. Madam Sila, we see Usai, I believe it was last week, Sunday, the NGC and the SLPP form waiting and call a strategic alliance. And then later they say now a progressive strategic alliance. In your opinion, now I know they talk to you as a former, and they talk to you as a Sierra Leonean. Because even before you decide for serve your country, for do this, for do that, you're a Sierra Leonean first. As a Sierra Leonean, what has been progressive, and please, I don't want to make people begin, they say, the downfall of Sierra Leone or where Sierra Leone is right now, you cannot lay it on a single political party. Agreed, 100%. I am talking about the experiences or the add-on, the top-up of these last 5 years. That's what I'm talking about here today. I'm not talking about what has transpired 60 years ago, not talking about what happened 15 years ago, not talking about what happened 10 years ago. I'm saying the top-up of the last 5 years. As a Sierra Leonean, what has been progressive about the SLPP that makes the NGC wants to be bedfellows with them, and what has been progressive or what is progressive about the NGC that the SLPP thinks they are suitable bedfellows?
Well, hopefully, I've been doing attempt for answer some of the answer to this question. Them where they tell you say the record of the government shows say the alliance cannot be progressive, and the alliance, how me see them as a Sierra Leonean, now something where then cobbled together, because when you look the alliance agreement, the paper, nothing not the inside it. And I see beaucoup people then they tweet say waiting at this alliance where they talk. At the end of the day, the last sentence inside the paper say the discretion of the president. The president not get for put himself as presidential candidate under alliance for say SLPP and NGC, and they put himself as presidential candidate under SLPP. The alliance, it's like for saying something where they put together, like where Jimmy Kande say, Professor Jimmy Kande, and something where they put together for win election. When I've been there, NGC, I've been there, some people and they talk about, oh, me they get this job, Minister of Finance, me they go get that job and then kind of thing. So some of them rumor then they may not they step up, they may not they come forward. So now alliance, somebody where number one, you get the chief person inside, they really want for destroy NGC. you know, NGC destruction is there on both sides. They one inside NGC in the person of the parliamentary leader, it is inside SLPP in the person of the president. So two people then were really keen for destroy NGC so that opposition will reduce in the country. It go act for eliminate opposition 100% in the country, but you for reduce them. So that nine are the first goal of the alliance. And I want even put progressive inside the lane of common amount. First, for destroy the party. Second, for win the election, and for win the election with as many people within the NGC as possible for come inside the for vote for them, for vote for the current party within now. So not progressive at all. Nothing all the way progressive about them. We problem them incremental over the 62 years where we don't independent. We know within our issues, neither SLPP nor APC not able to solve this problem. With various problems, them, you know, the country just they deteriorate decade after decade. Obviously we don't get enough issues then our history, like the war and so on, 25-year one-party state and all the rest of it. So nothing progressive about the alliance. As a Serenian, it's obvious saying people the way one come together. The problem with one country now this underlying poverty within here. And for even people that we get, then still get that mentality, that philosophy, that overall cloak, if you like we possibly wear coat of poverty. So then go get so, but then still not get out of that poverty mindset. And unfortunately, because governments now are the employer for boku people, now they boku man then they able to realize their dreams then for do waiting at the team where they get for do, not to by hard work, not to by them profession, not to by business or anything, not through stealing of government funds. So for enter inside government job or politically or otherwise, now big thing in our country, not about service. You know, get nothing for do with serving the population. You know, get nothing for do with for put the Sierra Leonean force for make the people of the country, let them be the main thing where you did inside it for. You don't get nothing for do with that. Now, just for the like-minded people, they come in, do it in and do them, cover themselves and the bad them where they sit on and continue no more for destroy the country. Now that.
As we wrap up the show, I want to go to a set of questions that were being asked Dr. Kanda Yonkela about a year and a bit ago.
Martina,
And
you go give me 1 minute on the alliance.
okay, go ahead.
Please. When I be to go school, I think now from 3, before we sit Beken as a lawyer, I mean like one I think you can call a subject we can call business study. There was this issue between me and my class teacher where they teach me about sole proprietorship, sole trader, and business study. I from 3, I think I do a business study, sole proprietorship, sole trader. And I remember when the land meeting, the decision of the owner, now the final decision. I want to make decision. I want to analyze decision, takes decision for him, with him, and by him. The NGC situation, I'm sorry to say, it is also a situation of a sole proprietorship. And with this alliance, we in our NGC, that's when they will be in day, we make one big mistake. We've been lack, we've been respect, admire, and protect Dr. Kanda Yonkela to an extent that we not feel say anybody get it right safe for compete with her. We've been just feel say now in no more na the right person we go make this positive change what we want in Sierra Leone. Mr. Self when I am. a victim. They like it today, I don't learn my lesson. But because of that particular reason, we tell like we idolize them. And everything about NGC has to rally around behind him, for him, and by him. Now he lead the NGC so for this situation where he did. Why am I giving this background? Now, because me feel say, waiting Dr. Keller don't do so delicate today, where in one grain don't destroy a political party, because it feels say the political party is for him and by him and for him, with him, nobody else. It don't kill the trust for any third party again na Sierra Leone.
For a very long time.
It don't kill the trust for any other Sierra Leonean we go want for come out. I like it come on UN. I like it come on Africa Union. I like it come on WFP, WHO, or whatever institution where you go don't get good resume. If you come to this country now, you say you want for establish a political institution for able for fight APC or SLPP, you're going to feel right from the word go. Because Sierra Leoneans will ever trust. It not go easy. Let not say ever. It not go easy again. So this decision of Dr. Keller to in one grain for go form an alliance, or go form a partnership, me no say now a strategic move of going back to the SLPP for his 2028 agenda. But the bad way it do to Salone people them, and the bad way it do to NGC members, especially so the diaspora as them, when they finance this party with their own money, their sweat, under that kind, weather condition day for 5 years, state of delegate conference, then fund that with their own money, $75,000 for prepare the NGC for contest an election, and then automatically one man say president one for work with her. He said na when I'm according at the next meeting, he confessed unto we the odious the day in public. He said na in President Bio one for work with. He said na in not the party, na in as an individual. But because na in as an individual President Bio for work with, he no one for resign from his party. So he rather force the party for go to President Bio. And do you understand me? So me, I get problem with the manner in which he handle them. First of all, he don't dey in negotiation with President Bio according to Ram for over 1 year, 2 years. In one green, they talk to President Bio. The leadership of the party not know. We, when are the soldiers, then when are we the sabi for NGC, we not sabi. If you really want for heal the nation, not a bad thing. But what make you go want for heal the nation? Why make anybody go get a good intention for heal a nation, but they hide the plan? They hide them for tell people and say, I want heal the nation. I want for work with President Bio for heal the nation. Now you want get no more sabi. It's as if sometimes you not trust we don't work with and not sacrifice with them. Dr. Dennis Bright, we don't become a full-time volunteer for over almost 5 years full-time. You not trust them for even tell her, okay, forget about we the other people. Not even the chairman and leader of the party for trust them for tell them the national unity plan. You know they tell nobody what you and President Bio they talk about. Now you know more sabi. But we all for just the BAU for follow you, what you will not know but now for go back. And then they camp on the next meeting after all these rumors. Dr. Dennis Bright within full capacity for lead the party, for listening to any negotiation, because the party been basically they prepare itself for contest and election, but also next delegate conference be give power say if any party want for talk alliance with we, let go listen. So since Dr. Keller in say now in President Bio want for talk with, not to be the party, not to be the party. So what do we expect? Now for him as an individual for resign, because on that particular day, he threatened we say, in fact, sir, I will resign. In fact, sir, I will resign. He threatened we say he resigned from the party, but he never resigned from the party. And then he forced the neck for Gian the sole power for go negotiate on behalf of the party. It take away the chairman and leader in your position. Next, members of parliament, then they team up and then they tell the chairman and leader and face say, no to you president be one talk to. No to you they want talk to Dr. Dennis Bright. Now can they want slow left can they make can they go talk for we. It was embarrassing for an institution for the portray itself in that kind of a manner. It was so embarrassing. And Dr. Yomkela was there and he never said anything because he was in support that he wanted the sole power to go and negotiate for a whole institution where you not even get that kind of power there. Now the Dr. Nisberg is the chairman and leader. Okay. Next first day we then get there. We they say, okay, can they, Dr. Yomkela, go negotiate, come back and tell the party, waiting that the outcome of the negotiation. From where Dr. Yomkela go, he not come back with any details for can explain to the NGC people say, now this na the outcome of the negotiation. Now this, now that, now that, now this, now that. Let the NGC party themselves say, okay, we agree or we not agree. Before that, they don't pull dates for go sign the agreements. And don't forget the date set now be to man. I remember the date 23rd or so of this April. The day before they go sign the agreement, then they get a NEC meeting on Zoom. A NEC meeting on Zoom where NEC members they were out of country or in, up country, not even get proper internet facility for joining and make a proper contribution. And on Zoom 9, then get this NEC meeting. And in that NEC meeting, also give clarity as to what the details of the agreement is. In fact, then before don't know why the party they go to an agreement, even before they get a NEC meeting day for making decision yes or no. But the date tomorrow I for go sign. Now today they tell the people there. And when two people in the gap they say no, sir, not to say for B, so they say Amadou Sherry say no put onto a vote. The one day we don't talk to them, they say, okay, we all don't vote. 31 of them don't vote, say, we forgo. Pam, 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 tomorrow they don't go sign paper. What am I trying to say? That particular decision was a sole decision in order to get the blessing of the NGC members. In order to get the blessing of Sierra Leoneans, we be done ready for vote for the NGC party. That particular decision is so inimical against the people of Sierra Leone. It's so unfriendly, it's so untimely. And that decision don't put an end completely to the NGC in sustainability and survivability after June 24 elections. Completely.
Wow.
So that political party, that decision render some of we without a political party because we're not going for day and think the way they against the values and principles that we don't stand up for all this while. They're against that. So we end up getting for say, okay, this man ain't getting party. And the supporters then they idolize them. And yeah, to a point they're not be able to do it correct. So we the well-meaning Sierra Leoneans, they would be mean so well for continuing with a third party, for continuing with a progressive party, for encourage because we are ideological, we end up getting for say goodbye. Now we end up get the biggest loss. We end up waste like I waste 10 years of my life working towards a sustainability of a third force. I end up before nothing. But I don't feel bad. Wow. I tell God thank you because I'm proud. I make this sacrifice not to possibly force me. It was willing. I was so willing. I was doing it. I was enthusiastic about what I had to do. And I know they retire at my age. I'm not retire. At this point in time, I align myself with another political party where I feel to get similar, not even everything, but similar values. We're empathetic about the people of Sierra Leone. And now we go inside the opposition party there. We go there for go fete day. and align ourselves with other progressives for make sure say we give this country the kind of leadership we supposed to forget. But I'm
Okay.
sorry, the idea of a
Yeah.
third party,
For
the
right
man
now, I don't
would
truly
every
feel
pillar,
say there is any
90%
political party
of
that
destroy.
I can put my finger to na Salone what I go call progressive. And that is where I stand. I don't think there exists a political party in Sierra Leone that I can call progressive. I think there are political party that
Not
might
yet.
have some form of empathy or exhibit certain aspect of empathy towards the people, maybe. But progressive, I don't know. I'm still on the fence with the use of that word. Before I go and try for close the show, Madam Sila, if Kande made it clear that the SLPP was only interested in talking and dealing with him alone, to the exclusion of the political chairman, Dr. Dennis Bright, to the point where when Dr. Dennis Bright came and appear for negotiate with the SLPP, um, um, categorically made it clear in front of Kande Yunkela, said they're not interested in talking to Dennis Bright. Now Kande Yunkela they're interested in talking to. And according to what Arthur just said, Kande Yunkela was present, said nothing, did nothing. And then now that video, now that audio, leaked audio, we very clearly we say, I will continue for talking, I will continue for engage with the president.
Yes.
We now
Yes.
see, we now hear that is going to be, can the caller just hold on 1 second? Please, caller, the big, hold on, not cut the line, hold on. We now see Usai, the, how they call him, the now the audio Usai is say what he get for say, and then we know say the NGC where Dr. Kande Kole Yunkela qualify as the person way for one. He then at the election box. The NGC go there with this current alliance and everything. Shouldn't did the NGC not have the executive power to say, okay, since now you the one solely as a person, but you want take we go as a party and we not agree for this, they not having within themselves to say resign from this and you can go solo? Did they not have that power? On our bylaws, they not get
No,
that?
no. Well, power, whether na power on a college, people let me get courage for say that, like we Arthur they explain. Unfortunately, people them in day when they don't hype up this hero worshipping of this person to an extent that nobody know able for talk waiting at the team we correct before them. You understand? Stand up to the ideals of the party, for example, say this not sound right, you not get no business for go talk to them people here without the chairman and party leader or without the agreement of the executive or the agreement of the wider body of the party. There's something not right. This is abuse of power. Those very things where you be the talk at the beginning, say wrong with Salone, and you they try for you put that Alusain theory. Now the same thing that you do, they abuse power. They take this political party supposed to be public entity. They take them like your own personal property. They go negotiate on. No, not on behalf of the party. Negotiate for yourself, really, and how the president wants for utilize you as an individual. Nothing for do with the party. I mean, none of we not fool. At the end of the day, now personality politics name been there at play. So if you turn up there as possible on the outside, you say they get hold of this one personality when nine at the person we sing for the drive team them. If you can get that one person there, say you don't destroy the whole party. You get me? So now been the plan that, now that then end up for do that, they end up for execute. At the end of the day, there was willing participation by Dr. KKY. So yeah, it been just too well planned. Nobody not be able to tell them because of the same the kind of politics where we play now. So we know we afraid for talk to people and they argue, say, well, if president call you not for go day. Now that kind of politics they with a play now. So if you not possible where you not in the diaspora, you don't this on side where nobody know other mortal man when a politician, you just not they worship them. You know, the person they for serve. If they do wrong thing, then can they be and then saute them, bring them candle. So it make some of we stand aback. Certain thing and then we will be not begin to see when I be red flag. You know, one old convention, such amount of money raised, and then we not get presidential candidate inside it. We not say, well, okay, for be judicious in how we spend money, why we not put this presidential candidate? That particular aspect, they make sure say they sit down panam, so nobody no go get chance for begin the forward explanation. If you ask questions, then go say, hey, bo, you know, this not saying we want to now, let we do this first and then kind of thing and they. So now that afraid the way people then get that too much respect or subservient sycophancy, all of them thing and they've been there to play very strongly. So it's difficult for talk to people they don't get that kind of hold day on people.
Thank you so much. You know, caller, make I take on a call them. You've been so nice, you've been so gracious, and the participation. I'm watching the numbers on YouTube, I'm seeing the numbers on Facebook, the numbers on the other platform. You know, different platform, people have been so engaged. So yes, caller, waiting on your name and also you they call from, please.
Okay, this now Omar they call from Switzerland.
Okay, go ahead with your question.
First of all, thank you to the una guest, the owner get yonder. But to be honest, Martin, the Sierra Leoneans we get more intelligent people, bright people. So, but most of the time we don't know whose side the problem lies. You see, we don't get this situation not to the first time, not to the second time. This we see what happened to Carfa Smart. We see what happened with the PMDC party. We see what happened with CTC. Then we see what happened with Kamarimba. We see, you know, why Sierra Leoneans not come out like anything, form an ideology based on, from a political party based on an ideology, and when they succeed, find a suitable somebody, make a can lead them, rather than form a political party based on only a single person. To be honest, Kanda Yunkela, everybody knows say everything but NGC was Kanda Yunkela. We know this even before the first election, because of it agreed, we agree from Slpp make a can form a own party. We know that again, even for the Fusi. Now, because of them aggrieve. So then kind of people are, it not going to be a secret for make the return. Now, the guests that today say they want to align themselves with another political party to get the same ideology. No political party, no the other, where it go align itself with, where it go serve a proper thought force. The all na opposition in the waiting for SLPP or APC. Why instead of una align on ourselves, if una get good agenda and good intention for Sierra Leone, why una no go form an ideology or a political party based on particular ideology and look for a suitable Sierra Leonean out there where go serve that purpose? Instead, una go wait again, go follow one somebody or go follow the same political party where we don't follow for the past 62 years and we know they see no difference. You see, so the problem is that if una want really una get a particular agenda where una want see, make Sierra Leone prosper, not to for join SLP or APC, or not for join one particular somebody with the CNIR. You need to form political party based on a particular person. They form them based on an ideology, whether it be because for instance we get what they call the green, where it do on a climate or particular ideology where it go come up with where it go benefit the people. But if you see if una former, una one satisfy one person, una fixing that person, and at the third force, na the problem in that country. So una come together, una form una political party, then una look for person who is suitable rather than for look for person who is suitable and form political party. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. I will go to the next caller, and if we don't get any other caller after that, I will close the phone line because we have really, these two individuals have taken their time to really trash it out for us in very exceptional manner. And I really respect that. And very late in Sierra Leone right now. It's basically they have not slept. Make I put it that way. They have not slept, and they are doing this for the motherland. So go ahead, caller. Waiting on your name and also you they call from.
I'm named Kombo. I call from New York. How now they do? And good evening. God, thank you. You know, this thing way Dr. Kande Unkela do, or Kande Unkela in the first place, because if they call it doctor, I know say as you're entitled to that, but for be professional as well. And especially when you don't work now the diaspora, you don't work now United Nations, one of the biggest organizations at the world. You know, what he do so, now exactly we can face with most diasporans the way they go na Salone. They can be na the West or na the international organization. They work very well, very professional, follow protocols, know waiting a role, waiting not to enroll. Everybody believe in them. But when they go Sierra Leone, they not for ask them question. Then they do waiting they want to do. You know, go join. You know, you will be they say yesterday, these people and they curse you, they lock gates by you, they molest you. Now you they will encourage other people and now, but they now for curse you, mama. So for curse other people and mama. So it means say if instance be then at the show of presence, be away immediate in opposition, if you get chance for command people for curse other people and mama, if I be able to do it. If I do it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Based on waiting happen to the security for attack people. So now the same thing they see, and now that be happen back with, you know, chief minister former chief minister for a journalist just text and ask a question. The next thing and I forgo arrest the journalist for go locker. That man no go ever do outside be the lecture in England. For let journalists come, he can't inquire. Sometimes you know, even meet I left voice message where he call I not get I left voice message. So I go check for you in our office on allegation where students they say they take money for grade. For say he go get and call England police. Now he go call now the journalist for clarify name. Quick, let the reports not come on. But not to the case. As they go Sierra Leone, they don't become monsters. 80% of presidents bio appointees and diasporans. But what happen? Now they give the home based president bio confidence in a nothing. Anything will happen and nothing. Now it make you get a very bad governance. They expect a lot from we. For the system they will get, which will need to condone the corruption and the UK, let we try for straight and both sides. Now we the will tell and say nothing is a commodity. Let this happen. Now it's all kind of killer exhibit. Nothing more different. No. You see? So me I just sympathize with the one that we been able to no more, not the NGC. But we don't know this long time. You see, you go, you say you get a good package. Why for be selfish? It just be selfish and take everything for yourself. Nothing the NGC party not get. You want to invest the money, to not get nothing. All thing for yourself. Put and pocket. Anyway, And that's one of the contribution.
Thank you very much, Kola. Thank you so much. Thank you. All the conversations really good when platforms them. I just want to play a snippet, a very few seconds, a few minutes of a conversation. The reason why I still insist on this, because my final question to Una really based on this. I go ask me producer, make it go back to that interview day, make it go to some of the rapid fire questions then where they asked Dr. Yunkela at the time. And here waiting na be in response at the time. And then
home long time, not refugees in the political sense, but economic wise, otherwise would have been home. So we all have a stake, and indeed, little by little, change what you can. Waiting me no one are people with a grumble all the time. Government can with good bills, we work with them. When cybercrime can, we sit down hours. They change their language then they today. I mean, with the wait for C now, if all wait we change the inside the final one. But we spent hours because we know we need cybersecurity in our country. So yes, we worked with government on that and other policies. But at the same time, when I don't see what they oppose things, like Johnson, I mean, when I didn't talk about that, of all the lead politicians in this country, no other one, not a single one, has said anything about that. I chose to do it. And I made it clear, my position. And people have said, oh, but before we let the bill come, I say no. I'm a Western trained politician. We can talk about public policy even before you bring a bill. So we make our position clear. We are not wishy-washy. So some of us have to do that, even for the next generation. So they know there's another kind of politics. It's not just the one that is practiced here. And they aspire to be politicians, to want to go in. Because let me tell you, you can't leave a vacuum, man. If you don't want to be in politics, others come in. If there's anything you can learn from, that the guy criticized, he was outside 32 years, very comfortable, but he bit the bullet, went in there and has been there 6 years. In spite of everything, I have stood up. And I'm still here. I'll see what the future holds. If there's anything. And I bet how many would give up what I gave up to come here? I was at the pinnacle of my career, but I chose to do it without any regrets till today. And I'm still here. Still here. And I'm happy to be here to make my little contribution. And I still have 19 months. And we'll see what else I can do.
okay, so Dr. Yunkela, now I go to me rapid fire question, then 1 minute each for answer. The question them as I pose them as we go along. Education. When you propose education, when you said an emergency, we need to inject, our education system need an injection of emergency. What we now have, is that what you envisioned?
No. Quick answer, no.
Quick answer, no. Okay, yeah. I've been up for a little bit more with the no. How are we doing with healthcare?
A lot of problems in healthcare, decades-long problems, and they're very serious. Very serious. If you're sick in this country, pass God help you. Usai for beginning. We are basic thing that know the capability not in here. Yeah, we get a handful of psychiatrists still. The kidney section from 2018 to now. I know this because I visited the new kidney unit last week. Now 2 dialysis machine no more been in this country. And then 2 then private people get them because they get problem, but at least then they allow other people for use them if you pay 900,000 or you pay 1 million. But remember, you get to do dialysis 3 times a week. How many people able to do 3 million every week in the country if you get kidney problem? But thank God, then don't renovate, or they can get 5 dialysis machines. But let me tell you, it's 5 for 7 million people. Now, it rings a bell to me because when I did University of Illinois, one of the things as a student, this is way back in in the late 80s. We've been a try for let Dr. Holloway in Chicago. help we forget one used dialysis machine. At that time, we had only one in the country. So you can look, it's almost as if time stood still. 30 years later, we had only 2 2018, but now we're going to have 5. They need a lot of help, but if you get problem with kidney upline, now 5 no more than a free town no. So there are a lot of things we need to do to build capacity, and we all get for work with this, with colleague, the new minister, so let we see how we go help her. There's so many things that are not available in the medical system. I know if you want to go through, you know, I don't lost how many friends the last few weeks, bearing after bearing. I know what you will go through. My uncle self in our hospital now. So I tell you, it's a dire situation. The capabilities here for medicine, diagnosis, no problem. Some specializations, and then one doctor we get. One. And they're damn good, trying their best, but they're not enough. They're not enough. So anyway, there are efforts, but we have to do a whole lot of medical service.
A whole lot of medical service. Okay. How, when you walked into parliament, your expectation of being a parliamentarian, question, are you part of the gatekeepers? Are you an ally, or are you an outlier?
Wow. It's hard to place me, but I've been an eccentric politician here, eccentric parliamentarian, because sometimes I am supporting a bill and then you hear all man say, hey, you don't go to the other side. A month later, you hear the hammer again in the opposition side because it's on issues. I focus on the issues. I take the issue. It's consistent with the constitution. It could be in the interest of the people. Are there some violations? It good for the long run for development. So depending on the issue, you go say, this man is there for the government or the battle government. But then you go see sometimes another issue at effects. Say, I don't agree, because this is not correct, it's not good. So for me, I have been an independent-minded politician, looking at the issues, focusing on issues, not just following straight lines, no. Because why a land book? A land book, they analyze. I get paddy them too when are experts in fields. I go call them where, but good thing they were no. I go call them. I say, this they can. Waiting for I give you a recent one. The University Act last week. Quick, I don't text to colleagues. I say, hey, we're debating this. Do you have views? Because I get friends that are professors and so on. So they send it in.
If una want, una can go back to this interview, like you can, Dr. Kande say 19 months to go where I do this interview, so 19 months to the election. The same person where give all of these abysmal, we not do well, we not a fear. Couple of days ago, sided with the current Minister of Information when they asked the current Minister of Information, Rado Soare, on AYV, how has this current presidency fared, this present government? What did he say? He say na 85%. He say, Rado Soare say, Ingo mark them 85%, say na they don't do. To me, utmost surprise, even if you there in alliance or you want for there in alliance with the current government, at least let us look at things for where they are. Dr. Kande Yunkela say Ingo be a little bit of a harder marker. So I was waiting for it. But then to me, utmost shock, he's saying go give them between 75 and 80%. So almost aligning with what Rado Soare says. So 2 questions for make Adon with una. How una mark this government? 1, Madam Silla, you getting tired? So make I begin with you. I thought you are the young brain, young blood here. Which percentage you go give this government? Secondly, is if this alliance no work, because remember, waiting the president's rights, 9 can the back rights. One of the objectives of this alliance is to secure the SLPP a second term in office. That is clear. It is written all over whatever they are writing. If this alliance no work and it not yield the result that is expected, would that be the death of NGC? and your final words to the Sierra Leonean people them come that day, the 24th of June, 2023?
I mean, first of all, NGC is already dead. Nine are the first thing. They don't effectively extinguish in oxygen supply. You understand me? So nothing or they will get for revive NGC party right now, unless of course some miracle and lots of resurrection and funds and all that kind of thing in there, because at the end of the day, now a registered party. So anybody will want for go revive them and resurrect and get for first make sure so they get rid of the architect of the NGC in destruction. So that now the first thing. And then insofar as Sierra Leoneans are concerned for the elections coming up in a couple of months, make people then look their own personal life circumstances. If then in a salon, yeah, all thing they come out for them in terms of their income and their livelihood, their education for them, picking them or for themselves, how their lives and they go all thing are inside Salone. Let them look their life, they make them see what thing are the thing way good and glad and their life way progressive, way they're not a complain but way even if they complain, so they say, oh well, but at least we tell God thank you such and such and such. You know, we they able buy one bag rice every month, for example, and the one bag rice now 200,000. Nobody know they talk then kind talk then here. People their lives they're miserable in this country. I don't give up. I don't give up. I mean not to post the sit inside ivory tower. I don't give up for see hungry picking in a street where they pass the mouth all dry. You know, as everybody knows, I'm a health professional. Where person dehydrated, you they see the signs of dehydration panam. I don't give up for see picking them where they pass in the streets, they not get nobody, where they mend them, where they look them, where they're hungry, they not get sight for go, they not they go school, nothing, or they where they can glad for their future. So many things in this, so many things. But each and every Sierra Leonean we're eligible for votes. Make it just consider in situation and in status right now, and then it go vote. Make we see what thing go happen out of that.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Arthur, same question to you. How you rate this government? Will the NGC
First of
survive
all,
us after? And then what's your final message to the Sierra Leonean? I know say maybe some people, I mean, they expect me ask you about your recent sort of movement where we don't observe, but we are not here for that. We are here for a particular conversation. When the time comes, you know where to reach me. We'll have a conversation.
okay. First of all, how I mark this government. You know, there is this saying, when the best is not available, the available becomes the best. And there's this saying also where like for assess President Bio and the SLPP government. I want to believe that really and truly waiting President Bio and the SLPP government don't give it so not their best. But truly their best is not enough for Sierra Leoneans. So in terms of percentage, before I go to percentage, I watched that interview live where Dr. Yomkela they hate his government 75 to 85% for aligning with that. I laugh, and I'm not being supposed for laugh, but way to make a laugh, I realized that the Dr. Yomkela way I know is completely a different person now. And I realized that on that particular day, that he is now a different person, completely different person. So me basically go assess this government with the 35% over 100. And why why self I go give them 35%? Because the only thing where this government don't make significant impact on now access to the school building, not to education, because education is a service where the teachers when they put inside the picking them the knowledge they go acquire for widening the lexicon. But waiting this government don't do, when me no say nine na them biggest goal. Now for let them say then school picking away with this nona do una can inside this building, una can inside it. Basically creating access to a building that is described as a school. But one way or the other, 10 or 15% of learning must take place. So picking goes to be for spelling name, so they goes to be for read A, B, C, D. So to some extent, some amount of education must don't take place where they don't go good like how they don't come like how they go there. But in terms of quality, in terms of the education, it's a no-no for me. So but I'll tell you truly that they have failed. Hopefully, Alpha Side yourself and the government spokesman don't confirm that the government don't fail in economy, they don't fail in the democracy, they don't fail in human rights, they don't fail in the freedom. We don't fail all things. But the past probably for spend money and for enrich themselves. Now they don't get a pass for develop themselves as government officials and party officials. Will the NGC survive? The NGC right now I live in COPS, and they don't bear the day when they sign the agreements. Then the 40 day could be on the 24th of June when they will vote. As Sierra Leoneans don't vote, so that is the final day where nobody know where everybody will see again. And sadly, it could be a situation. SLPP we know, SLPP no we know, NGC will still be a dead political party. It go feel like an PDP now, PLP now. I'm sorry to say, NGC supporter where they listen, probably we align with the alliance. This is not out of grudge, but I'm just stating the obvious. First of all, public trust is no more for the NGC. You're not going to get political party, the people living at the voters and not trust the party again. Then you say the party they survive. No way. You're not building the party for yourself. It's not your personal property. It's an institution for the public. And if the public don't lost trust in the leadership and don't lost trust in the party and its formation, the public don't confirm that the NGC is an SLPP too. It's an umbrella or a wing of the SLPP. So no way, not the way the SLPP. I mean, the public will consider NGC as a serious political institution. Except for miracle, God can put olive oil at the NGC aid, wash and clean for people and for look at with a different eye. But I'm sorry, the NGC is dead. Let's say Astafulai, SLPP wins an election. NGC people are promised job opportunities. Give and take, they will give them 4 or 5 or 6. They give them 10, they know past 10. And then they say, na serious katakata. But let's say they give them 10 jobs. People who are going to be appointed by President Bill are going to be at the mercy of President Bill. And then job now for work for President Bill, they go for the shout, Madabi. And basically, what am I trying to say? Even in the alliance, if the alliance is an alliance, and then get some things in the way, they're not agree to. They don't get the boldness for come out and challenge or say we not agree to this, because they know very well the next day in the sack there and replace them with somebody else.
Yeah.
And then people and they when me know say go be beneficiary to these appointments, the elders, the leaders. Then basically 98% of them were members of the SLP. So for them it's a tactical way of going back home. And then get for the very close to worshiping or idolizing or making sure they secure their job, and not the party anymore. It's a no-no. And in another circumstance, if the APC wins an election, it's also, which of course I pray, because between APC and SLPP now, I would prefer to vote for the APC. If the APC wins an election, which of course I hope and I pray, the NGC goes also don't dissolve, because all the public don't look at Zibo and SLPP will not get trust for now. And like I said earlier on, third party don't die now na Salone until for the next 20 years until something will emerge. But it's completely over. And for that one, they already asked you a question about me recent engagements, of course, with the opposition party APC. I want to let them know say COP is still functioning. I resigned from NGC, yes, but I'm still a member of COP, and COP is still functioning. And Asopias is a very young man. I'm not going to be forced to voluntary retirement at my age. I have registered myself as a politician, and therefore I need to belong to a political party for me to continue my path. So it's not like I'm happy about what happened with the NGC don't die, but I am not responsible. And I did my best for see how I go able for, register my commitment to Sierra Leonean with a progressive path. But now I don't believe in any third force. I don't believe that there is any Sierra Leonean again who can formulate another party where I would trust. I'm not going to ever believe in a single person again. So I want to belong to an institution now that I believe will stand the test of time. It's not owned by any individual or any group, but an institution where I know say 10, 20 years after now will still survive, and one man will make a decision for the institution. So I am thinking of aligning myself with people who I consider as progressives in the opposition APC, for see how I can work with them, for see how we go fit, for make a change in the opposition's angle. Another option now. I am left between voting for President Bio or voting for Samoa Kamara. So that's my closing. Finally, I go ask Sierra Leonean people for continue for pray, because this country right now, if I tell anybody say this sweet anybody, no. But let me pray for peace. Let me pray for stability. Let me pray for God. Motions. Let them vote based on facts. Facts. Not on this party where they nami mama born me, nami papa. No. Look at the realities, like Yamakoro said. Look at the calculus. Look at what is before you. Is this government better off in terms of managing the economy, the democracy, the human rights than the other governments? Please, I like the government or the party or the individual. Vote for the government if you say better off. And then maybe the big Salone people then. And finally, I pray to God again for let God guide me in my next path. Let God put in blessing. Let God protect me. Inshallah, let God make myself continue for do waiting good for the people of Sierra Leone. Let nothing not change me. I reward that too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Nimako, Sila, and thank you very much, Atopias. Thank you basically for not sleeping because I know saying I don't they can't clean son a Salone, and it's funny. They say to myself, wow, NGC they know how to hold this Mishoya so. Anytime I get an NGC person on, I can never do the 2 hours and walk away. I always have to go beyond the
We know
2
to
hours.
NGC. We know to NGC.
Well, yeah, indeed. Now you're not to NGC anymore. But, anything associated with NGC, they know for stretch me time, Bobo. But listen, I encourage everybody for go back and watch that interview 19 months ago where I do with Dr. Kande Koleyenkela. Come back and watch this interview where I do today with Nimako and Arthur. The thing is that, when this whole thing started, we had someone who said he's worked in the diaspora. He know what information mean. He know what principle mean. He know what structure mean. He know what applying the application of policies. We see when it come into the scene, we hear the name Alassane and Alusine. We hear terminologies like rankonomics. We hear them like, gentocracy. We hear all them big word there, but sometimes be careful the user of the big words, how they use it and how they intend to apply it. See, for me, waiting I see is that here is a man who says, you know, in don't tire for mom. He said now in ready for dance. When I see I been the whining hip that day there. So he don't ready. There is no more morning. So una we been they say, oh, you know, no. He don't tell una plain say, I am done mourning. I am tired of mourning. Now I am ready to make happy. And you can tell by the movement of his hips, he's ready to make happy. So please, all waiting at the try for tell una is that do not be seduced by sweet words. Do not be seduced by, don't get carried away by people and foreign credentials them. You see, the last time I talk na so say, in as much as I can give them to the APC, I they give even the two candidates them, in as much as I don't rate them, I don't this, I don't that. I'm like, the one thing I can consistently say about them is that they have been in the country. They have served the country. They have lived with the people. They understand the people. They might not always have gotten it right. But one thing I can say is that they have put grease, elbow to grease. I am not making a case for anyone here. We get to be very careful of the one that way they come with them big degrees them, including me self waiting up na so na. And can you na big words them, big grammar them, and be very charismatic like somebody like me, so I sabi talk. So na be for very careful like people like we get sweet mouth, we sabi talk, we go can and can't talk, I sabi this, that, when you can ask them, say, waiting you don't do. Show we waiting you don't do. Yes, you get this, you degree. Yes, you been the work. Yes, you been they make you money. Why you been they make this you money? Why you been get this degree? Waiting you don't put na the ground. Waiting you don't put na the ground. Show me waiting you don't put na the ground. Because right now, it appears as though the person who told us to be careful of the rankonomics has become the king of ranka himself. That's where it appears. That's what people are living. Make I tell you now something. You see this move by Dr. Kande Konle-Yunkela. People they talk about the couple, way been there at the couple, and not been they talk this way, been this, that. It goes beyond this. When somebody don't consistently they hammer something on a haste, consistently they say the same thing. For make the person make a make not a 160 or 190, a 360 degree switch. Especially when you believe in that person there. Your money where you work inside this school, you put them because you believe in the ideals and the principle with that person, or where you believe say that person they represent. I know family who've been torn apart because of KKY and what he represented, or what he appears to have represented. I know friends who are no longer on speaking terms because of what they believe KKY represented. I know sisters and brothers who did not speak to each other in these 5 years because they believed what KKY represented. For them, it was KKY or nothing. And for them, it was the NGC. They believed so much that no matter what, now if not the last self, then go pull them, then send for make this party. December with me on koro yeah. I see the agenda, I see the figures, the way they come on inside free tongue. Now this amount we need, now this one I need for raise. I am not saying hearsay, I am saying what I witness. I see where people and put them blood and sweat for make this happen. And they had no clue that this was how it was going to turn around on them. So some people them are currently living like a death experience right now. Some people are having an out of body moment because they still cannot believe what is going on. They still they think that they are in a dream and they need to wake up from this dream. Waiting don't happen so right now. It's going to take, like Arthur says, it's going to take another 20 years or more for make somebody come and talk say me they come from a political party inside Salone where go be a third force where they come for change things. And worst stuff, if anybody come from overseas, forget, nobody know they listen to you again. It no matter how experienced you are, it no matter how learned you are, it no matter how genuine that person might be, the door has been shut. The door has been closed. That door has been shut, it's been closed. In my own generation right now, we will have to be like in our 60s, going into our 70s, and maybe the generation after us, maybe, then go don't forget this stab. Maybe the scabbing no go there again. Then they would have the appetite to get into this once more, to give it another go. Like I'm talking to people, I mean, people are they hearing the sadness na their voice, are they hearing the disappointment na their voice. All I can say to them is like, listen, you all fell maybe for the fallacy of the one. Maybe you all fell for the lenses of the one. Waiting they happen right now na the fallacy of the one. You went blindsided, you just go no more. You did not question, you hoped, you dreamt, and you believe. But I hope say this in many ways don't teach people them a lot of lessons, because at the end of the day, guess what? KKY is doing KKY. You as a Sierra Leonean, you need to do you. You as Safia to Bompose, Matilda, call your name, whatever. You need to do you. If you believe that what KKY is doing for KKY is what you believe in, then you do KKY with you. If you believe that what KKY is doing is not for you, then you do you that is different from KKY. But me people them, the only thing when me go say to Una is that let this be a lesson. Let this be a lesson to every single one. The man has made his choices. He's made his decision. No one can stop him. Like you see now a moving train. Now a train will not stop right now. So please do what's best for you, as he has done what's best for him. To those in the diaspora who are feeling so let down, so despondent, not knowing which way to turn, where to go, they say time heals all wounds. But as you heal, please never make this mistake again. Question the status quo. Ask questions. Ask questions. If it not feel right, ask questions. Your opinion not go always be the opinion of choice. Your opinion not go always be the most acceptable opinion in the room. But let it be known that you spoke up and you ask questions. I want to tell me guess them boku tenki. Now one green salon we get, and we go continue for fete for that one salon day until we get it right for us and the generations to come. May God bless we all. May God bless Mama Salone. Una all thank you.
Youths of Sierra Leone, the time don't come for let you vote your conscience. Vote, but not fate. Tell you politician, I dey vote, but I not the fate.
We go vote, we don't go fate. Hope for you the ones in this information. Yeah. Waterloo chapter. Listen. Me I go vote and not go fate, yeah. Because me voting and me right, yeah. Me I go vote and not go fate, yeah. Because me voting and me right, yeah. The youth them let we stay away from violence. Get the vibes, get the feeling, yeah. ya.